Hello dreamers, it's me Tahrifa the Realtor, and today we're going to talk about how to buy a house with a realtor. Like with most things in life, you can do it by yourself, but it's probably best if you use a trained professional, and that is what I am. So I'm going to talk about the home buying process, mainly residential, so that's single family and multifamily. I am a licensed realtor in Pennsylvania, so this is the general rundown of the process I take my buyers through. To break down the steps, there's buyer qualification and the buyer consultation. Then there's the home search process. Then there's the inspections period. Then there's the appraisal period. There is the transaction processing system going on within there. Then we have the final walkthrough, and then we have closing to give you a very broad 7-step process of how to buy a home with a realtor. In most cases, you use cash or you use mortgage financing, and it's a little different, but mainly the same process. So I'll break it down for you and explain the difference when you have cash and when you have a mortgage. The first thing you need to do, I want to buy a house. Okay, you need to get ready. So the step 1 is being qualified to be a buyer. Now, before you even find a realtor or a mortgage person or anything like that, you need to assess your finances and assess your goals. Ask yourself, are you really able to afford a house with your current income, with your current credit, your current savings? You have to be able to have some kind of down payment, or if you're financing with cash, you have to be able to afford the house that you want, and you also have to have some general idea of what it is that you are looking to buy. I help you through that process when I qualify you in my buyer consultation. What that looks like is we sit down, whether in person or over Zoom in this COVID times, and we discuss all of those things. So we discuss your finances. There always needs to be some proof of funds. So we need to get a pre-approval from a lender, or we need to have that bank letter saying that you have X amount of money and you're able to afford the purchase of a home. We also go through what would be expected of you and what would be expected of me, and also we go through all of the documents, the legal documents that will be used to make an offer and therefore purchase your home. I answer all of your questions, I address all of your concerns, and we figure out how we're moving forward. We have a plan and we establish a buyer-agent relationship. We sign all the contracts, we go through all the contracts between buyer and realtor. We figure out all of your needs and we try to meet those needs. That's the qualifying process. Then we have the home search process. So that is me going to the MLS, calling sellers and searching through all our different mediums of lists of homes, and I find the ones that suit your needs in your price range, and I send them to you over email, and you review it. You choose the ones that you are interested in, and we make appointments to go see those houses, which are called showing appointments. So at the showing appointments, I give you all the information about that home that I have available. I can find out any information that you may need to know before the considering of purchasing this home. And you have a look around, you see what it feels like, you see what the street is like, you see what the energy is like, and if it suits you. Now, sometimes that could be a few houses, sometimes that could be a lot of houses. We will search until we find what it is that you are looking for. When you do find the home that you know is right for you, and you have agreed that this is the home you want to purchase, we make an offer. Making an offer is basically writing agreement of sale and all of the associated agreements with that. So in the agreement of sale, we decide how much you want to pay, we put down what kind of financing you're using, and any terms that you feel that you need to have in order to feel comfortable in purchasing this home, whether that inspection contingencies or things that you want included or excluded. You put all your terms in there, and usually the buyer chooses when closing is when we write the offer, and either the seller agrees or we change it to what is most suitable for both parties. So with making an offer, there has to be some kind of down payment, so that will be called the earnest money deposit. We submit how much we're going to put down as well. When the offer gets accepted, then we have to provide the funds officially. We send it off to the listing office or maybe the title company. Then we get to really execute on our duties in the contract. So we have a period for inspection after the offer is accepted, if you wrote that in your agreement, and an inspector comes out, goes through the entire property, gives you a report. When you get that report from the inspector, you have the decision of asking them to make repairs that you feel that you need in order to move forward with the purchase of this home. You can accept the report and agree to buy the home exactly as it is without the seller making any repairs. Or 3, you can decide that you want to pass upon this home and move on to another one. In the case that you request inspections, those inspections have to be done within a certain period of time, and then we move on to the next step of the process. In the case that you move on, we start the process all over again, and in the case that you accept it as is without the seller making any repairs, we move on to the appraisal period. And that is where, in the cases with mortgages, the appraiser from the bank or whatever it's financial institution that you're using comes out and they appraise the property, similar to how we do comparative market analysis, but very much more detailed. And they use the current state of the market to determine what this home is actually worth, and if it is in alignment with the price that we have agreed to purchase the home for. Now, a mortgage lender is not going to pay more money than a home is worth. So if the appraisal comes in lower than the price that we agreed to purchase the house for, they either have to lower it or we cannot purchase the home. So that's what we call a mortgage contingency, meaning that if it doesn't appraise for the value that we agreed to buy it and the sellers do not want to lower it, we get to walk away. If it goes over, we just continue on at the price that we agreed to. Now, if you have a cash deal, it is your choice if you want to do an appraisal. It's not mandatory to do an appraisal, but that is completely up to you, as well as the inspections. Inspections are always optional, but I personally would always advise my clients to do an inspection, because you need to know what is up with what you're purchasing. It's a very large investment, and I personally would like to know, so I would always say I would get an inspection. I encourage you to get one. It's your choice if you get one or not. I will not be mad at you if you don't. At the appraisal, sometimes the appraiser requests repairs, and those need to be done in order for the loan to be financed. Between agreement of sale and closing, while all this is going on, that's when title is being ordered, that's when use and occupancy certificates are being ordered, city certifications are being ordered, all of the things necessary to verify that this seller has complete right to sell to this buyer and no one owes anyone anything. That cannot be paid off within the sale. So all of that is done for you by your realtor, by your realtor's brokerage, and the title company, transaction processing teams, all of that. And then we finally get the clear to close if it's financed, and we wait for closing. If it's cash, usually after we have title clear and we have that occupancy certificate clear, then we're clear to close. We close whenever we want to. Before closing day, we have a final walkthrough. I like to do my final walkthrough the day of, right before closing. If that is not an option, the day before. Final walkthrough is where we walk through the house and we make sure that the state that it currently is in the state that it was when we agreed to buy it. If anything is out of order, any structural damages, anything that wasn't how it was before in terms of the actual state of the foundation of the home, if there are any damages, to fixtures, anything like that. There are steps that need to be taken, whether it's repairs to be made or that's not the house we agreed to buy. So if you don't want to buy it anymore, we have grounds to move forward in that way. After the final walkthrough, we have settlement or closing, and that is when the happy seller gives the keys to the happy buyer, and the happy buyer gives their money to the happy seller. That is when all the documents are transferred over into the buyer's name, and the buyer now owns the house and the seller has now sold their house. And this takes a couple hours at most, and you leave being the owner of a new home. And it's that simple. Throughout the entire process, I am there guiding, and I'm there doing my very best to help you achieve your goal. Now, that process may seem all easy and easy breezy beautiful, but having a great realtor guide you through that process is always good. So if you or anyone you know is looking to buy in the Pennsylvania area, put them on to me. I can help them achieve their goal. So that is all. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up below. I make videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so click the bell next to the subscribe button for notifications for more videos. Okay, bye!